How's it going, guys? So, welcome back to my vlog. I'm still trying to figure out what to name it. I can't think of anything creative. So if you have anything, ideas, or any creative thoughts, go ahead and put them in the comments below, or tweet at me, or send me an email, or do whatever you need to go ahead and do. Um, it is December 11th, 2014, and we're back pretty soon. I wanted to do these on a pretty weekly basis, or anytime big news comes out. And what do you know? Big news did come out. And I gave it a couple of days to go ahead and think things over, and to go ahead and talk to people in the community, and talk to people that I knew, and people involved in the situation. And so I've gotten kind of my head wrapped around the idea, and sort of my thoughts on it and what it means for the scene and everything like that. So let's stop dancing around the issue. Um, the issue itself is, or the not the issue, but the big news, the big announcement that was made was that Twitch did go ahead and buy Good Game Agency. If you guys don't know who Good Game Agency is, or what Good Game Agency is, they do. It's owned by Alex Garfield, and it directly owns Evil Geniuses and Alliance and Counter Logic Gaming. And okay, it doesn't directly own these. Basically, what it is, it's like a governing body. Think of it like a talent agency of sorts. So they go ahead and they accrue talent. So like, think of it like an agent. So like, Hotshot owns CLG, but I mean, the negotiations and sponsors and all that kind of stuff do take place with Good Game Agency. And so, they do own a couple of other small Dota teams and Counter-Strike teams, and all the teams that, Alliance, EG, CLG do own. And I'm missing some there, but it's just this huge organization. And so they were bought out by Twitch. I think the direct correlation with this, or the thing that kind of forced Alex Garfield's hand, was sort of the LCS stuff that's going on, where you can only one own team. Now I think it's still a bit strange, but they are going to go ahead and allow them to do this. They wouldn't have done this otherwise without. They wouldn't have made the switch otherwise if Riot didn't approve it. I'm pretty sure Riot was pretty much involved in this entire discussion to make sure, like, hey guys, is this okay? Like, can we have these teams in here now? Things like that. And so yeah, I think it's a great thing for the industry. I also think it's a very scary and semi-dangerous thing for the industry moving forward. But I do think it's a good thing. And I'll kind of go into each little caveat here. But first off, good work and congratulations to Alex Garfield. He's a good friend of mine, or someone that I've really respected for a long time. Someone that I've known for a long time, and I know how much he loves esports and how much work he puts in, and how much work he's put into EG and Alliance and Good Game Agency as a whole. And again, it's actually not Good Game Agency. It's actually just Good Game. The agency part is just there for, I think, the website, because Good Game was taken, but the company's name is just Good Game. The agency part just helps it distinguish that it's an organization and not just like, I lost a game, Good Game, kind of a thing. But yeah, so I will be referring to them as Good Game Agency just to make it a little bit easier, but it is just Good Game. I think, so let's go over the positives, right? The positives are that now we have this huge monstrous organization. It's like this monstrous glob of, like, there's Twitch, there's Amazon, there's Good Game now. Like, there's these three huge organizations that are now all merged into like this one mega esports company that I think is great. I think that it forces a lot of sponsors and a lot of people that aren't involved with that organization. So like Azubu, HyperX, I don't think is involved with them. No, actually, I think HyperX is one of their sponsors. I'm not entirely sure. But like, let's go with Azubu as like the big main one that everyone kind of knows, and maybe YouTube and Google, saying that, like, yeah, if you guys want to be involved in esports, you got to put up your money. You got to pay these teams more. I mean, they have to spend more to get what's coming out. So like right now, there's no reason for, so let's use Call Gaming for example. So Call Gaming has not made a decision on what we're doing with any of this stuff, any of this news that's happening. We're still processing everything out, talking to people and seeing where our next move should be. But hypothetically, so Call Gaming is in a situation where we're better than a lot of the other teams in North America, but we're not at that top tier level. So we're kind of in this weird mid tier. We have a top collegiate team in League of Legends. We have some WCS players. We have Hearthstone streamers. We have very good melee players. So we're in this very weird sort of middle ground. And so, for us, yeah, signing on with GGA would be great. Like, Good Game could provide us with, sponsors and sort of the backing and the financial support that we need, and then also we could help with their streaming numbers and sort of helping get new sponsors and bigger contracts and things like that. On the flip side, we could go ahead and say, Zubu, all these big teams and everyone is going over to GGA and Twitch. You need us, man. Like, go ahead, give us some extra money, give us money to compensate us not going to GGA, and we can go ahead and join up with you guys. And so I think if a Zubu is willing to go ahead and, YouTube and Google, and if these companies are willing to pay up to go ahead and get these teams, so like Fnatic's a big one, right? Fnatic's is signed with a Zubu. When that contract's over, what if they switch over to go to GGA? Who knows? So yeah, I mean that could be a bit of an issue with them, and I think if Azubu doesn't pay up, then Fnatic could leave. Complexity maybe, Dignitas. I don't think Dignitas is not with GGA. So these other big organizations that maybe could jump over. So yeah, I think that's sort of the good thing. It forces people to pay up, and I think that's one of the big points I was saying too with the idea of Korean players going to China. I don't think I ever did a blog. I did not do a vlog about that, but I did talk about it quite a bit with people that I knew. And on my social media, you can kind of see it. So if you go to Twitter and you go backlog a little bit when all these Korean players were going over to China, you can go ahead and track my progress on that. But basically, my idea or what I was saying about it was Korean teams don't pay their players a lot. Like, historically, they just don't, because they have a very secure idea of like, okay, yeah, we're the best region, we breed players, so we don't need to pay you guys mass amounts of money, because if you leave to go to another region or you leave to go somewhere else, we have these players coming up that are going to just take your spot and be just as good or better even once they grow and get a little bit better. And it's like waiting in the wings kind of a thing. So it's not a huge deal, so we don't have to pay you guys. With Chinese teams now getting involved and paying these top players this much money, they're not just losing 1 or 2 stars, they're losing like everyone. And so it does force these Korean teams to go, oh, well, maybe we should pay our players a little bit more, and open up their checkbooks a little more and start writing these salaries and start paying these players what they deserve to be paid. I think that's a great thing, and I also think the idea of what's going on with China with the streaming services is great. The fact that, so in America and in the West, it's sort of just Twitch, right? Twitch is like the monster, the behemoth of like streaming. In China, there are like multiple companies that are streaming moguls, that are streaming giants that can go ahead and vie for these big contracts and for these big players. And so like someone like Dandy, right? If he's now in China and he wants to stream, he now has these 4 companies to choose from, and they're bidding for his services to sort of up the ante, up the contract. So it's sort of like if Under Armour and Nike were trying to bid for a player to sign with them, like the offers just keep going up and up and up until they go ahead and sign, or until one of them gives up, and stuff like that. So I think like that level of competition is really good, and that's where we start getting into the negative aspects of the Twitch and GG deal. I think that now we have like the closest thing we've ever had in esports to a monopoly. It's not quite there yet, but like this is like the beginning rumblings of this monopoly, which is really scary. And I think like with them having so much power in the market, it's pretty daunting for any team that's not with them to go ahead and want to jump on the bandwagon, like I was saying. So it's a scary thing. You can, like we were saying before, the good thing is, yeah, it forces these teams to go ahead and pay up, or these other organizations to go ahead and pay up more for teams and players. But I also think that, yeah, like it's just not. It might backfire in a way as well. If the teams don't, or if these other organizations don't want to pay up, then it will go ahead and cause an issue. So I think that could be an overall problem. Yeah, I think that's certainly something that could happen. I think as well, it does sort of make Twitch the streaming platform now for tournament organizers and things like that. So, for example, MLG, right? MLG does their Call of Duty stuff on MLG.tv, right? and they have MLG Anaheim. Every year is run StarCraft 2, and sometimes they run Smash and everything like that. But that's all on MLG TV. Now, if MLG decides, yeah, we're gonna keep doing it on MLG TV, we're not gonna go on Twitch, does that mean that now all of the players that are in this Twitch GG organization, so like EG, Dr. PP, and EG's StarCraft 2 team, their Dota team, since MLG's doing that Dota circuit, Alliance now has they now have Armada, so is Armada not going to go to MLG Anaheim? Are they not? So basically, are all these players that play these games, not League of Legends, but like other games, and maybe even League of Legends, like if it's only going to be streamed on MLG TV, is Twitch going to say, yeah, no, we're not going to go because it's not like it's a competitor? Like, does that change the dynamic there? And so then does it force everyone to use Twitch and sort of grow this brand and grow this monopoly? Like, that'd be huge. I also think it'd be like a dick move, and I don't think they're going to do it. Just because they do care about the community. I know a lot of people at Twitch. I know some of the big wigs up there. I know a lot of people involved in GGA, and I know that they have the integrity to not go ahead and do that. And it's not for the money, and it's not for that. This deal wasn't for the money, and it wasn't for this big conglomerate to be here. I don't think that was the case. But I do think that that's a possibility, and if something does happen, or if something changes, that is a possibility that could happen, and it could change the entire scene as a whole, which I think is a really negative thing. I think as well. I think I was talking to Travis, and he brought up the idea or the thing that a lot of these teams did go ahead and drop their Call of Duty teams and pick up Halo teams. And that's a big deal as well because Twitch is doing this stuff with Halo, and they're not. And MLG, of course, is still working solely with, or is the only person that's working with Call of Duty currently. I mean that has to kind of play a factor. If it doesn't, then it kind of seems a little weird or a little off that would happen right now, right before the announcement happens. So I mean, there's a lot of different things that are going on. I think it also takes. It's also a hard time for the players. So like before, players when they were negotiating with teams would go to GGA, or maybe they could be represented by GGA, or things like that. Now with GGA, like say Froggen wants to go ahead and become a free agent, or he wants to go ahead and negotiate his contract with Alliance, GGA can't negotiate on both sides. So of course they're going to take the team side because that's what they're working with. So Froggen's sort of on his own. Or maybe he'll get a lawyer or some kind of agent to represent him. But again, the GGA will have all the legroom and all of the sort of weight to say, yeah, we're with Twitch. We have all these sponsors. We have the upper hand here. And then it makes players want to only go to these teams that are with GGA. It kind of shifts the market up into those teams' favor. Because nothing can come close. Like, what can Fnatic offer with the Azubu backing that Alliance can't offer with their Twitch and GGA entire conglomerate backing? Like, it's not going to work that way. I think Twitch already had a stranglehold in the market just because it's kind of like that Microsoft effect, or like a lot of people call it like the WoW effect, or anything like that, where that the one brand becomes so synonymous with whatever they do that even if you come up with a product that is better or equal to, or just more beneficial, that people aren't going to use it anyway. So, so say like Microsoft, right? They make Windows for PCs. So if you make an OS for PCs that is better than Microsoft, chances are you're not going to do very well. Just because Microsoft's name is so big at this point, it's synonymous with PCs. Like when you go to like Fry's or Best Buy and you go, I need an OS, they're going to just run up, grab Windows and leave. Like, they're not going to look around. It's not in anyone's consciousness to go ahead and look around and see, oh, what other OSs are there? And so that's what I think what the thing is with Twitch right now. And so I think Azubu and Hitbox and YouTube to a certain extent are going to go ahead and get going. I think the only ones really that can compete right now with them is Google and YouTube. If they want to go ahead and step up and really drive into that esports market, I think they can do it. And I think they bring on people onto their staff that do know esports and that are interested, and I think that's a really strong point to bring on. I think apparent their acquisition so and so, or their attempted acquisition at grabbing Twitch was a huge deal, and sort of showed their hand of what they want to push towards and what they think is a big deal. And so I think they're gonna want to go ahead and challenge that. Now I would want to see moving forward what they bring to the table, but for right now I think that it's a really dangerous thing to sort of say that Twitch that this Twitch GG agreement or this conglomerate company is now has so much market share and so much power in the esports industry. It's just a little daunting, a little scary for players and other organizations to go ahead and negotiate with or against them. So yeah, I think it's a good and a bad thing. I think it depends where both sides go with it. Where I think every situation for every player and every team is a little different. So I can't say overall it's good for this, it's good for that, it's good for this, it's bad for that. I just think it's up to the team and up to what they want to do and up to the player and what they want to do. So of course players are going to want to naturally go and gravitate towards joining Twitch and GG as an organization. I think that that's sort of the easy way out right now. But I think as soon as if Google or Amazon or Azubu or any of these other big organizations go ahead and jump on and decide to go ahead and try to challenge, I think that's going to really help the idea of the market and really sort of stabilize it so that you don't have this huge conglomerate running everything. So before I would maybe say it was maybe 70 30 in terms of how much control maybe Twitch had in the streaming market. Maybe you could argue for more. I think right now it's almost 100% for sure that Twitch just dominates this entire market and dominates every single part of it. I think the big deal now is as well as for like tournament organizers. So I kind of touched on it before that like Riot uses everyone. Riot uses Azubu, they use Twitch, they use YouTube, like they stream the LCS on all three. Like the international streamed only on Twitch and ESPN, and then I think the international only streamed on Twitch, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I think it's huge. Or no, Twitch or international streamed on Twitch and ESPN, but I think the WCS only streamed on Twitch and the BlizzCon feed on their site. But yeah, I think as soon as these tournaments sort of it makes a tournament have to stream on Twitch now because players might be there. I don't think you can have I think MLG.TV is sort of in the weird place of being on the odd man out here, and I mean it's not like they were extremely popular before, but I think that now it sort of does force their hand a little bit. But yeah, I think it's a good thing and a bad thing. It sounds like a broken record at this point, but I really don't want to make any knee-jerk reactions right now, just because it's only 2 days after the announcement was made. And again, I trust all the people involved that they're not going to go ahead and push the power too much. But I think naturally, it does make it a little difficult for companies in general to argue or to negotiate with them, because they're pretty much the dominating force right now. They can pretty much call the shots in terms of the sponsor they want, how much they want from the sponsor, and everything like that. So. Just food for thought, guys. Go ahead and put your thoughts below as well. Go ahead and tweet me at KidLiquid, for thoughts or anything like that. And yeah, guys, we'll be back later on with another vlog. Hopefully nothing else happens so we don't have to see each other too soon, and we can go ahead and spread these videos out a little bit. I don't want to vlog too much, but yeah, thank you for listening.